Hello Scorpio, welcome to your December 2020 reading, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you so much. So this is going to be a tarot reading for December 2020. As well as tarot, I channel cosmic guidance using astrology. So if you know your rising sign, check the video for that out too for even more cosmic guidance and support for your month ahead, as the astrology I use in these videos tends to be more applicable to the rising sign position. Okay, so Scorpio, how I'm going to structure this reading is I'll pull for the very recent past, your immediate future, and we'll look at the present energies in the middle of all that too. And then I'll close it out with a couple of messages from the universe for you. Okay, let's look at past energies for Scorpio. The Emperor, very powerful boss energy coming through. Oh, wow, the Chariot. Yeah, you've been really taking the lead on something in your life, Scorpio. Ace of Wands, something you're really passionate about. Okay, love to see that energy. You could have been teaming up with somebody, making something happen with another person. Let me just get some cards now for the present situation. And then we'll go deeper into all of these, of course. The Page of Pentacles. The World card. Wow, this is a huge reading for you, Scorpio. All of these major arcana cards already. The Three of Swords. Okay, this is big. Let's look at the immediate future for Scorpio before delving into these cards. And I think we'll pull some more as we need to clarify too. What's coming up in the immediate future for Scorpio ending 2020? Two of Wands, exciting, exciting. Nine of Wands. And the Moon card. Okay. Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so let's get into these cards right away, Scorpio. Huge reading for you. This is really exciting. So I see that you're wrapping up 2020. Well, 2020 has been a very testing year for all. I mean, that's a pretty general statement, but like you've learned some real lessons about yourself. You're bringing massive cycles of your life to completion. Let's look at this card by card. The Emperor is telling me that maybe some of you recently transitioned into a role in your life where you need to be more responsible. You might have more power or control. You just had to step up in a big way and kind of take the head on something, take the lead on something. Something that turned out to be very successful, which you're happy about. So you have been working on something you'd kind of wanted for a long time to work out. Maybe you had been like growing it for a while, nurturing it yourself, and then it was kind of ready to be, you know, released, put out there, let go. You don't need to hold it anymore. It was ready. So you brought something massive to completion, something that you were probably pretty much taking the lead on anyway. You could have been dealing with, I see a lot of cardinal energy here. So maybe like a Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, Libra, but these cardinal placements are coming up for me. We have Aries, Cancer, and then this is Saturn here. So this talks to me about Saturn being in Capricorn at the moment, but major transit happening mid-month, and it's coming up in the middle of the month for me. Saturn is moving into Aquarius. Saturn hasn't been in Aquarius like this for hundreds of years, so it's a major deal. Well, and insofar as Saturn and Jupiter form what is known as the Great Conjunction this month in Aquarius, that hasn't happened in hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's a really big astrological transit. I'll get into that a little bit more in a while. So whatever you had kind of felt that was ready to be released into the world, something you were really passionate about, you know, you could have had this idea with another person and you guys came together and were able to create something and make something happen. Let's look at this present row, okay? So we've got the Page of Pentacles. This probably, you know, required you doing some amount of research or learning again, or potentially just being back in a novice position in a way. It looks like something got wrapped up, and something right now is being wrapped up for you. That's probably going to cause you like a certain amount of pain pain, you know, just like you're saying goodbye to something old. So it's like maybe it was your baby, not your literal baby, but you know, something you've been working on and something that you wanted to create. And you know, it's hard when we're, you know, it's exciting at the same time because we're going on to something new. I mean, it's spelled out right here for me, but at the same time, you know, there's that sense of nostalgia, or you're feeling maybe sentimental, Scorpio, about past projects or just something that you've had to wrap up with. And while you're happy that it's wrapped up and it's something you had obviously intended to be released to the world, or whatever you had been working on, you intended it to not to just remain a project forever or a job forever. You did always see it coming to a completion, but for some reason you're feeling like some sort of a sadness over that coming to a completion. Maybe it's just being sentimental, or maybe for some of you, Scorpio, whatever you just brought right now to completion in a really big way, maybe a cycle of your life, maybe something even bigger than that. You know, you graduated, you got married, or, you know, and there's obviously going to be some sort of an element of, you know, yearning for those fun days in college when you were a student, or, you know, yearning for your single life when you weren't married. This is just an example of big cycles coming to completion in the World card. And there's always going to be this sense of longing for the past, or, you know, far away hills being greener, but it's still good that you brought all this to completion. Obviously it was something that you really wanted to, you took control on anyway. I think there was another person involved in that though, and I think you're just feeling sentimental for the past now, Scorpio. But look, coming up in the future, and I'm going to pull more cards just to get a little deeper on these, but coming up in the future energy, so let's look at this row leaving 2020 going into 2021. So we're eager to obviously get into 2021, to start new goals, to set new goals. I think you have a goal in your mind at the moment, Scorpio, and probably what's happening is you just haven't figured out everything all around it yet. You're sort of, there's some sort of a cautiousness in your movements. I think coming up at the end of the month, you are going to probably be presented with some sort of a decision. Should I stick to what I've been doing? Can I expand on this work that I've done so far? Or should I just try something totally new? Am I ready to open a new business? Am I ready to go back and study something else? Am I ready to move somewhere else? Am I ready to relocate? So these questions might be coming up as you are kind of discerning what your 2021 goals are and what the plans you're making are. But I see some sort of a decision coming up. This Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck is telling me that you're focused towards the end of this month going into 2021, and that makes sense around New Year's Day. That is going to be setting goals, but these goals, you are aware, this year are going to take some time, some more time than usual. I see travel coming up at the end of the month for you, Scorpio, or Scorpio rising, and that would be pretty, yeah, I see that with these two cards, maybe somewhere a little bit warmer than wherever you are now, and it could be work related. You could be going somewhere else, I think, Scorpio, if it isn't like to another country. You're definitely around your neighborhood a lot, or around your area or your locality, sussing things out, sussing out the competition there, sussing out the kind of logistics of your neighborhood or your area to make something work, I'm sensing. You're just figuring things out, wanting to see what the area looks like at nighttime, wanting to see what the area looks in daytime. Like you're trying to get a real feel for a place. So that for some might be coming up as moving or relocating at the moment. So yeah, that's what's coming up for me. The moon card at the end of this. So we're in the middle of eclipse season at the moment, Scorpio, okay? So for Scorpio rising, those eclipses are falling between Sagittarius in your second house and your eighth house then in Gemini. So Scorpio, there is a feeling with this eclipse season of changes, beginnings and endings coming up. What kind of endings could be coming up around this for you for Scorpio rising? Well, Scorpio, it could be something to do with money matters. I think that some of you are entangled with another person insofar as an inheritance together, some sort of a debt together, or some sort of like something that you're tied to financially, contracts tied together like that. So you might be bringing things to completion, Scorpio rising, in the realm of your potentially financial dealings with other people. That's coming up for Scorpio rising with these eclipses falling between your second house of finances and your eighth house of like shared finances, shared resources, debts and things like that. So there might be some wrapping up there, some wrapping up of entanglements there. And that's what's coming up for me at the moment, Scorpio. For Scorpio rising also, we've had So Saturn has been in Capricorn for the last since 2017. So those with natal Capricorn, so if any of you watching have Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn natally, you were born when Saturn was in Capricorn, you are just about to finish up either your first or maybe second or possibly third Saturn return on December 17th, 2017. So congratulations, you made it. Saturn is leaving Capricorn and Saturn will not return there for another 29 years. For Scorpio rising, Saturn in Capricorn has been in your third house of siblings, of your neighborhood, of your area, of learning, of some sort of travel. So you might have been experiencing over the last 3 years certain tests and tribulations in that area. I think we should go a bit deeper into these cards, Scorpio. The moon card also coming here telling me that you may not have all your plans figured out by the end of the month, and that's okay. I think you're still pretty nervous, or you're still apprehensive about what's been going on lately for you in the past, and it's maybe just somewhat discouraging you from putting your plans into place, because there is a lot with the moon card suggesting that things are still somewhat unknown for the future in your eyes, Scorpio. I think there's a message here with the moon card to very much trust your instincts and intuition, as it does seem like you are blocking your intuition, your intuitive channel at the moment with the 9 of Wands and the moon. All right, let's clear up this first row. So you have been very, very busy in the last few months, wrapping things up, bringing things to completion, getting things ready to present to the world, taking the lead on projects, nurturing something though. You have something you want to grow. If it's not like an actual baby that you're growing, you're birthing something, like you're birthing a creation of some sort. And that's all that kind of energy, like all of that energy is the same, that kind of that growing energy, that creative energy. So I see that coming up very strongly with you. I see whatever it was, and I definitely see in this Ace of Wands, this is in this deck, I see like far away, warmer looking place. The sun, it's not very green looking, it almost looks like a desert or something. So I do see for some of you guys thinking about moving to a warmer climate or working in a warmer climate. Let's clear up this first row here. The Emperor, the Chariot, massive energy here of you kind of being a boss bitch, boss person. The Fool card, it could have been something that, you know, you were maybe taking a bit of a risk on. I do see elements of taking a risk here for you, Scorpio. So Scorpio rising, Taurus, Uranus, who rules the Fool card, has been in your sister sign of Taurus for the last couple of years now. And this year in August, Uranus went retrograde. And that might have, that was in August, I believe around August 15th. Scorpio rising and Scorpio, that at one point may have made an opposition to your sun or your rising sign, Scorpio, as it's your sister sign sitting opposite you. And you might have felt like some sort of unpredictability arising in August. And for some reason, I feel like it's linked. Those seeds may have been put in motion around August of this year, of 2020, for you to become, for you to be encouraged to step into some sort of a more boss role, for you to kind of, I see both of these cards like taking ownership of your life, taking control of the direction of your life, taking responsibility of what way our life is going and how we're expanding, how we're growing. Feeling very inspired as a result. And this surprise energy, and Uranus retrograde in Taurus in August opposite you, Scorpio, would have been an energy of unpredictability. Think of these themes coming up around then. Like surprise, innovation, but it's really good. It can be taking a risk, it could be taking a chance, it could be just shocking yourself and others. So I think this deal that you've been working on the last couple of months, Scorpio, it could be telling me really that it was something that may have turned at the beginning have been quite a risk, but it really looks like it paid off. And if it didn't, you at least have been able to finish it, okay? If it didn't pay off entirely the way you want, I do see Three of Swords, some sense of regret for some around whatever has been recently completed for you. Let's look at what's been recently completed for you. But these major arcana cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already in this reading. It's been a massive couple of months for you, Scorpio. It looks like it'll continue to be. I want to clear up the World card in this middle row for Scorpio. it's like there's a bittersweet element to this row for me. Your card, Scorpio, Death card, and another major arcana. What is going on with Scorpio right now? A lot. Okay, so something has come to an end for you presently. It is some sort of a huge cycle in your life that's come to an end, so don't be afraid when you see Death card. Even though these endings, Scorpio, for you might be seeming or might be feeling in some way like a betrayal or a hurt or a disappointment, please trust in the universe that these endings and new beginnings. So it's funny, look at the difference in the even imagery of these cards. We have the first card of the tarot deck here, the Fool embarking on their soul centered journey and destiny. Obviously this fool looks like they're about to jump off a cliff, like a big fool. But really there's a trampoline under there ready to catch them and lead them on this new path. So this is the energy of new beginnings, of taking chances on life. And then we have this Death card, very different looking imagery with even the colors, but it does tell me about something coming to an end. Presently, Scorpio, you're in a transition period in your life where one area of your life is wrapping up and coming to completion, but we're ending something. Ending a way of potentially self-betrayal, self-sabotage, or ending connections with people who made us feel like this, which doesn't need much explaining, pierced heart, grey clouds, ending a relationship with people that put us in the Three of Swords energy. Whatever though it is, there's bittersweet to this, because Page of Pentacles is like this Fool energy too. Starting something new, learning something new, and taking a chance. Whatever you have been wrapping up, I think it was something that for some might have been their first chance trying something out. It might have been like a new venture for them that they didn't, and maybe you've learned some lessons from it. Maybe it didn't go off without a hitch. Maybe you had to learn from your mistakes in this situation. We're at a transition phase in our life, Scorpio. I believe a crossroads, and I really am sensing crossroads with this, Scorpio. We have you here, your little symbol in the up here on the World card. This is telling me, Scorpio, that what's been happening for you now, you are living out. There's destiny, there's fate, there's free will, there's all of these concepts, okay, in the tarot. And this card talks to me of more like a free will rather than destiny, really. This is when Scorpio has been embodying, so there has been destined events happening in Scorpio's life over the last, say, few months, and how you have been responding to your destiny is you living out the World card, and it's just set. It's basically a karmic card in the tarot deck, setting you up for the next phase in your life. Something has to end, Scorpio, for a new beginning to take place right now. You may not be totally sure about that. I think it's related to this Two of Wands, what your next offer coming up is. This Ace of Wands could be related to the Two of Wands. You've gotten an idea to do something, you just don't know how to act on it yet. I think by the end of the month going into 2021 is when you're going to be making a decision on how to start making the next step, how to make the first step in the next part of your journey, basically. The Moon card is telling me there is going to be some amount of uncertainty about your next steps, the long journey you have ahead of you in 2021 in an area of your life. So let's clear that up. That looks like it's coming up in the future towards the end of the month, okay? Nine of Wands telling me you've been through the mill. I can tell with all of these major arcana cards are basically like minor arcanas are things that happen day to day. Everybody experiences the minor arcanas and on a weekly basis, but the major arcanas, they come up when it's like time for soul growth, time for what lessons need to be accomplished now for you, Scorpio. Okay, so I can tell you've been through a lot. Let's look at the Moon card coming up, and let's close off this row coming up in the future and go a little bit deeper into that. What's coming up at the end of the year for Scorpio? Oh, well, at least you get to party and have a good time, but you're focused on work in the Eight of Pentacles, and that's very much like this Knight of Pentacles energy for me now, but this is fun. Okay, so we get to enjoy ourselves. I think you're surrounded by potentially water signs at the end of the year, Cancer, Pisces, maybe Scorpio, maybe other Scorpio. So it looks like you're with like-minded people. If they're not the signs you're surrounded with, it's just basically saying like you're with like-minded people you can let your hair down with. Enjoy the end of the month, enjoy New Year's, have a good time, do some celebrating. I think though as well, Scorpio, there's a lot of collaboration for me coming up, as well as like a lot of solo endeavors. I think the solo work has been done. I think whatever this project was, Emperor Chariot, you were working with another person, but you maybe had to take the reins on it in another way. And now you've been like, then there's a side of you that's thinking, for some of you, this new venture, something that you were trying for the first time, you brought it to completion. Maybe you had to learn from some mistakes. Maybe you're going to be thinking, hey, next time I might just get involved with somebody else, maybe not the same team again, or maybe I'll take on advice from another person or another type of group of people, get some new ideas. Timing is everything with the Moon card, and timing with this Knight of Pentacles tells me that what you're going after next, it will take time to get successfully completed. You may have to give, you may have to give things a few tries and repeat the work over and over until it's just right. But the Moon card is telling me that timing is everything. All right, so Scorpio, that's a really massive reading for you actually. Wow, you look like you're at a crossroads in your life, but beginnings and endings happening. It's eclipse season, Moon card is here, so that's not totally surprising. Travel, I definitely see travel coming up for Scorpio at the end of the month to somewhere a little bit warmer, hopefully, or somewhere where you can just be maybe a bit more incognito. Wow, that's a hard one. Haven't said that word in a while. Okay, let's look at another deck. So for a couple of messages from the universe for Scorpio now. We're in Sagittarius season currently. The sun is in Sagittarius. So when the sun is in a sign, I like to look at those themes that the sun is illuminating. And Sagittarian themes are like Jupiterian themes. They're ruled by Jupiter. So the planet of expanse, the planet of ascending higher, elevating higher spiritually, mentally, towards our highest self. They are symbolized by the archer with the arrow. So they take that arrow and they aim to a target and they hustle in that direction-based action, focused action until they achieve their goals. So for me now, I want to ask, through the lens of Sagittarius for Scorpio, if Scorpio had Sagittarius's arrow, where should they direct that? And where does Scorpio need to put their focus, extra focus and direction over the next 12 months, let's say? Where would that benefit Scorpio, basically? The Eight of Swords and the Daughter of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So you have to figure out, I think, Scorpio, what you're actually passionate about, so that potentially we don't get feeling this Three of Swords after we do something and it just doesn't satisfy us fully. We still have some sort of a feeling of emptiness, even if we've thrown our heart and soul into something. There's something missing for some. So this is telling me that we need to focus our thoughts in a more constructive way, and kind of, I feel like for some of you, we're in this like trapped loop, and we're kind of doing maybe the same thing and we're yearning to do something different, but for some reason it all seems to keep looping back to like something that's been done before, something that's been seen before. You're trying to be innovative, Scorpio. And I think that's going to be really possible, especially with this Saturn Jupiter moving into Aquarius in December. That's extremely innovative an innovative kind of action, Scorpio. Yeah, so I think directing our focus on what makes us feel more free. There is a sense of liberation happening in this reading, but there is also a sense of confinement too. So I think, Scorpio, it's really about you trying to strike a balance, but the main thing is, I think, finding what you're passionate about so that you don't feel trapped in what you're doing on a day-to-day or just what you're putting all your focus into. Finding your passion and pursuing that, putting direction-based focus towards that. All right, let's close off this reading. So like I said, Scorpio, Sagittarius is very in tune with their highest self. And I would like to ask now, what is a message from Scorpio's highest self to them? One message from Scorpio's highest self to them. The Four of Swords. think everything through, Scorpio, before getting involved with something else. And that's resonating with me too. Make sure what you do next, you really enjoy it, okay? This time, you have to love it this time. This is just saying, Scorpio, take a break if you need to rest, if you need to rejuvenate, and see this little illumination on the lamb's kind of third eye area. So it's like after this break, and I do see some of you taking a break at the end of the month, going somewhere warmer, getting away. So Scorpio, after this, it's got kind of like a sense of rejuvenation and more clarity of purpose. Strength card also at the bottom of the deck, telling me that you have overcome a lot this year. You have been tested. Yes, I see the World card is Saturn, so tests, karma, trials coming to an end presently though. So you've been tested. Whenever strength comes up in a reading, I know that either the person has recently needed to rely on their inner strength or they will. But it comes together in this, saying this is like body, like rejuvenating your physical health, rejuvenating your mental health. Bring these two together. Scorpio, there'll be no stopping you then in 2021, but you need to do a little bit of a reset. Take your time weighing up decisions that come up at the end of the month, especially since not everything may be fully clear to you, and there might be some elements of what you're weighing up that you don't fully know yet, and that's just going to come up for me. Meditate on it. This card is the card for meditation and thinking things through and contemplating. Contemplate the decision. Something's going to come up for you at the end of the month, I would say, where you need to make a choice. It could look really, really good on paper. You just need to make sure everything is solid, everything is legit. Okay. That's going to be your reading for December 2020, Scorpio. I will check in with you guys again and offer up another reading around that Great Conjunction. So the Great Conjunction, I don't know how much you follow astrology, you guys, but it's been a transit that astrologers have been looking forward to for so long. 2020's astrology was extremely intense and novel, and you know, it's, well, not totally novel, no astrology is totally novel, but in my lifetime it was pretty novel. And you know, we've been cautiously optimistic about this transit, this Great Conjunction, because of 2020 in general, but I'm still very optimistic for a breath of fresh air collectively. So I'll talk about that more in your next reading, Scorpio, as it'll be around that time. Until then, feel free to hit share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you again. Bye.